We are brought to you by Pure Yoga TV, on-demand and live stream fitness and yoga classes. Get fit fast. Stay fit for a lifetime on your schedule. Choose from an ever-growing selection of classes, including hot yoga, vinyasa yoga, inferno hot Pilates, yoga hit, ashtanga, meditation, and even more. We all know that exercise helps mental health. Well, now you don't even need to leave your home to reap those benefits. For only $9.99 a month, you can get full access. Go to pureyogatexas.com/pure-yoga TV and become a member today. We just need to find some mantra or like a specific puzzle you could go to that says something. So when you finish the puzzle, it says what you need to hear. Here's the thing. We're not giving you any of these 1,000-piece puzzles. We're giving you these kitty puzzles. It only takes you 30 minutes, and that's all you got.
Dude, this is like a Shark Tank idea. Let's get on Shark Tank. Screw comedy, screw everything. We need to put this on Shark because they have adult coloring books. This is the same.
Yes,
it is. It's like a 30-minute mantra puzzle.
Yeah. And
copyright. How do we trade?
I don't know. This is really good.
This is patent pending.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Welcome to That's Our Time. How this works is we're going to ask you, my friend, your chief complaint, which is the problem that you're struggling with. And I, Macey Isaacs, a comedian without clinical training, am going to ask you about it and try to help you. To prevent me from doing too much harm, I have a psychiatrist here, Dr. Bijan Zarabi, who will be here to help share his insights from his notepad and criticize all of my wrongdoings. Like a true therapy session, we only have 50 minutes, so let's get started. Are you ready?
That's crazy. My therapist was only giving me 45.
Oh, I don't like that at all. We're about to start the clock.
That's probably what they're billing for.
Well, also,
minutes.
he passed away. You know what? We can't put this
on. No. Oh, we can't.
This is a whole thing we could talk about.
Okay. But we can't talk about him. Okay.
No, RIP though.
Yeah, absolutely. But thank God he got those extra 5 minutes from your session back to his life.
Yeah, it added up. It really
did. He knew he was going out, and he's like, I got to get some of this back. Okay. I've got your intake form here.
Yeah.
Let's see. Name, Diana Hong.
That's correct.
That's what I knew.
Yeah.
I love that. Age range for casting, 18 to 32.
You think 18? Sometimes I get 18.
Yeah,
I don't. Maybe with the hair, but I don't know. I used to get 18 sometimes.
Well, show a little bit of the hair now.
Yeah, now it's like, now I feel like I'm super young. It's like blonde.
I mean, you are Gen Z.
You know, I try.
Yeah, not your shirt.
Oh, yeah, no, the shirt does give it away.
Yeah.
But
it's
what is
that
the
shirt?
A Goofy movie?
Oh, yes. Wait, you're Gen Z?
I'm millennial.
You're millennial.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Which Goofy movie.
Yes, that's why I was like, that's millennial.
But her hair is Gen Z.
Yes, yes.
Occupation, content manager.
Yeah, I got confused with occupation. Well, yeah, I guess I said occupation as like day job.
Yeah. I like that.
Okay.
And then you said actual occupation, stand-up comic.
Yeah.
I love that because your heart, that is your actual occupation. Most people would flip those.
No,
because you're a stand-up comic and that's why you're here.
Yeah, because it doesn't say which one makes the most money.
It does not.
Just what is you actually want to do. That's how I read it.
And that is why you will go places. Cups of water per day. I just want to know what I should be doing. 2 to 3 sparkling.
Yeah, I don't think that's healthy.
I think it's fine. Okay. 2 regular.
I try.
Yeah. It's so hard.
It's also like, you know, when it's like if there's a dispenser, it feels easier. But then we have a Brita, so it's like you got to go to the fridge. You got to refill the Brita. There's so many steps. And then it's like you feel bad for using single plastic water bottles. Of course. And then it's like, well, I might as well just die for the planet. Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at.
And the thing with the Brita, too, is like you'll be running out. And then you'll refill it, and then you got to put it back in and wait for it to get cold.
That's the thing. And I know warm water is healthier for you, but like, it doesn't give the.
I'm not an animal.
Yeah. No. I mean, technically you are.
A mammal, right? We are mammals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I should just say that urine should be like a pale yellow color and not necessarily based on how many cups of water you drink, because you could be exercising and sweating a lot. So it's more important to make sure that your urine is a pale yellow rather than based purely on how many cups of water you're drinking.
What about clear? Is clear?
Yeah, mine's pretty clear.
You don't want completely clear.
Oh, that's not good.
That's over.
I'm over. I barely drink any water and I'm clear.
Really?
Not all
You
the time.
might need to go see a doctor.
That could be a kidney problem.
Oh shit! I thought it was the other way. I didn't realize yours because I would every time I would pee and it's clear, I'm like I'm hydrated.
Yeah.
Like I didn't realize it's pale yellow.
Well, if it like there should be a little bit of yellow. Like
Okay.
a pale yellow.
We've also gone over this.
We
I
have,
think.
but just in case, this is we rebranded.
No, I know. We have new
but
listeners.
They gotta
compared to
know
the
this.
color of the notebook, like if we're looking
It
at the
should be
notebook,
lighter than a legal pad.
What
Okay.
about, should it be lined?
Well, yes, yeah, you got to
With
make
blue
sure
and
your
red.
urine is
Okay.
lined.
A little bit
You
of
heard
red's
it
okay.
here first.
a little bit of red is okay. That's what I heard.
As long as it's the left margin. Okay, the last question is last day of your first menstrual cycle. I love this question so much. We've got summer, August, 1999/2000.
I can't remember which year it was.
You can't remember your worst year of your life.
Well, the thing is, like, yeah, because I think I
I know.
blocked it out. Because the first time it
block it out.
happened, I remember being so confused because, like, they only showed us the videos, and like I didn't understand what was happening because they just showed it to. No one was explaining anything, and so when it happened, I was confused, and then I thought I would have to wear a pad the rest of my life, like every single day, and then it stopped, and then I went to Korea and had my period again, like during a summer camp. That's why I remember it's summer, and I didn't know what was happening either. I am such a bad woman.
So the second
Why?
time it happened, you didn't know what was happening?
I was so confused still.
Yeah,
like, because no one was talking to me about it. They're just like,
Yeah, that's the
It's
problem.
really scary.
Yeah.
I remember not knowing because the color was off to me. It was not what I thought. I mean, you've heard about my urine, so the color I had to tell my mom, like, I don't know, I don't understand, and she said, no, that's normal for your. It was more brown.
oh,
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Which is normal, but you think it's going to be beautifully red, like, nails.
oh, yeah.
It's not.
I mean, it's still blood.
Yeah, I guess I didn't have a lot of experience with blood, real blood. I just saw TV.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't look like that.
Yeah, I just think it's very interesting that you're like beautifully red when describing blood, and that could be a color that most serial killers probably say something like that.
That is true. That is interesting. That's a bit American Psycho of
Yeah,
me
yeah.
to
You're
say.
like, look how beautiful red this blood is.
I need more red.
Yeah.
I would also like to go ahead and ask you, because I can get us off topic. Bijan knows this about me. But let's jump into your chief complaint, if you don't mind explaining why you're here today.
I am here today because I feel like no matter how many times I tell people, they still like will, and it's not to make it like a race thing, but it is mostly my white friends. They will keep their shoes in the house. Like I'll call them out at the door and then they'll leave and they'll come back and they'll like wear shoes in the house. And I don't understand how to explain to them, or like, okay, basically my chief complaint is like, why do people wear shoes in the house? I think that's so gross.
And it is the house, not necessarily, because I was thinking, like, is it inside? Like, is she going to take off her shoes in here?
Well, if you guys took off your shoes at the door, I would have. Wow. Because if I'm the only one that did it.
Of course.
And it's like an office space. It's still like outside,
right.
but it's like someone's home.
Yeah.
Why? Wait, I don't remember. Did you wear shoes in your house?
Growing up, I did.
Oh, but you're home
but
now.
now I try to always take them off. And I even, when I came over to Julia Stone's birthday party, you came and got me.
Yeah.
And we walked in. And this is before I even knew this was your chief complaint. I saw all the shoes. So I'm going to take my shoes off. But I think I took a step sort of in the kitchen for a second before, and you go, oh, you need to take off your shoes. And I go, oh, yeah. And I took off my shoes. So now I'm replaying that. I'm like, oh, that was very important to you.
Yeah, I think it's like, also it's like living in a LA, like living in a city. I mean, even a suburb, I think it's like, oh, maybe, but still, but like in a city, it's like, we know what's outside.
Yeah, it's not good.
You want to track outside. I'm also like very like no outside clothes in bed. Like there is like a very distinct line between outside and personal, like like keep home clean.
Yeah.
I don't understand why people aren't on the same page. Like where the cultural divide, like why does that keep happening? Or like how do I even tell people? I don't know how many times to explain to people, like, take your shoes off inside the house.
It makes complete sense to me. how does this frustration impact you? That's just my question.
Oh, yeah. I saw that. That's a good question. Because I'm trying not to take it personally, but I feel like it's disrespectful to someone's home because it's like you don't value. Well, it's like it is. I don't know. I don't want to say it's like my house, my rules type of thing, but it is like when you go to someone's place, like you would like to. My whole thing is like try to leave the place cleaner than you entered it. Like it's just respect, like it's nice. Respect for things. I feel like that's kind of, and when you enter someone's home, that's that's like someone's private, like that for me, home is safe, right? And so it's like when you enter someone's home and you don't respect that space, it is a very disrespectful, like to me, it's just like, oh, you don't value me. Yeah. So I do take it personally.
That makes absolute sense to me. I mean, I think that if you have a friend who comes over and you're like, will you please take off your shoes? And they don't, that's not a friend.
It's like they do, and then they'll take them off and then walk it, like, well, they'll leave and then they'll come back and then forget and then just walk around. Or like we have stairs, they'll like put their shoes on while sitting on the stairs and the stairs are carpeted. So I'm like, even more, I'm just like, that's even more we can't clean.
So you mentioned you take it personally.
Yeah. Your question?
Yeah, this is mine. What does touching it personally look like to you? What does taking it personally look like for you?
That's good. That is a great question, Macey. I think it just makes me put up a wall with people that do that because I'm like, oh, I just don't know how close we can be. So it's just like I'm also very bad at friendships in general. I don't get close to a lot of people. And so I feel like when it's stuff like that, it's just like it's a value thing to me. It's like, oh, we're not gonna have the same values. I also think it's so weird, like why you would do that, period. But I guess it like it's a cultural thing. I don't know.
Think so. I think like I think you're right. We shouldn't be dirtying our house. You know what I mean? Like it makes sense. So I don't know why there's so many white people out there just dirtying their homes with their shoes.
Yeah, the personal part, I don't know if I answered that question fully, but it's like,
who knows?
It really is like, I do think there is like kind of something broken like already in American culture. And I do think that is a reflection of that because if you can't respect your home and your space, how do I expect you to respect other people or yourself fully?
This is a lot. This is really good. I also don't want to forget that you had also brought up how you don't get close to people. Can we talk about that? Can I ask about that, do you think? Or should I stay on the shoes? Because I want to hear about that.
Yeah, I think we have enough time to do both.
Do you mind if I ask you about when you say you don't get close to people, what do you mean?
Well, I was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, so there is a very like black and white mentality. It's like if you do me wrong, you are an op. Like even if it could be like you just like I understand people make mistakes, but like to me it's like I spiral and I'm like, oh, if you can do that in this situation, in what other situations can you do that? And then I just kind of pull up I kind of distance myself. Like in comedy, most people I interact with in comedy, I will describe as like a coworker. I think a lot of comics will be like, oh, we're friends. And it's like, are we though? Like if I were to quit comedy, we would never talk. Yeah. You know nothing about my life. I know nothing about your life. I don't know how you think about the world besides like what you say in your jokes. But like, for me, it is just like it is a protection thing because it's like, I do feel like if you can do it in this, then you're going to act like this in all these other situations. Like, how can I trust you? And it becomes a trust thing. And so I think that's why I'm like, it's hard for me to get close to people. And also there is like, on the flip side of it, sometimes I do feel like a burden. And so I don't want to put that on other people. So I'm like, okay, if I am feeling like sad or if I'm having a lot of emotions, I don't share that with a lot of people. And yeah, I mean, it is a lot of like, I feel like I'm not understood. Like I'll say something and like as a kid, I would get like, people would just interpret me as being angry or like whatever. And I'm just like trying to express myself, but it was never fully understood. So I think that also brought like kind of a barrier. And especially like sometimes when I hear people talk about me and they'll say like people, can we cuss here?
Please.
Yeah.
Okay.
like I am like, people will acknowledge, like, say that I am a bitch, which I can be, but I'm just like, I feel like I'm just very firm in my beliefs and like how I feel like you should treat other people and you should treat me and how I value myself. And sometimes that does come off bitchy, but also like Koreans, we are very matter of fact and we are very blunt. And so I feel like sometimes it's like, okay, well, if that's how you're describing me, you're not seeing me for me, then why would I open myself up more to you
right.
for you to misinterpret how I am?
Yeah.
And so that is very, and also people change too. And also, especially with comedy, it's like we are in an industry where it is, it's about opportunity. And there is not a lot of ways that you can keep your morality in an industry like this.
Yeah. That's so true.
So it's hard to be close to people because you never know, like that. I mean, it's happened to me before, like friends where I thought were friends. And then like I had this whole thing happen where like, I guess I should just get into specifics, but like what happened was it's like there was a person that was doing drag in Sacramento and it was a straight person and they were doing a show and I told them like, hey, you need to book gay comics because you're advertising this as a gay show. And then he was like, well, the drag is straight or gay enough for like the whole show. And I was like, that's not okay, because he was like, oh, there's not enough funny gay comics in Sacramento. And I was like, first of all, that's not true. So I talked to the club because I'm the only gay comic working in clubs. I told him what happened. They pulled the show. He starts telling everyone that I said straight people can't do drag. That's not my fight. I do not care. It's not my fight. So no one would listen to me. Even the people that I thought were my friends were all like, well, I want to get stage time. Fuck you. I don't care. It's not that big of a deal to me. It's all about stage time.
Right.
And I'm like, all right, well, there's no point in having morale. Like that, to me, it's like the easy fix. I was like, all I asked for him was like, dude, just have a gay host for like to sit out 2 shows because you obviously don't book gay people. You need to make up for that. Sit out 2 shows, have a gay host and call it a day. Like, don't even book me. I don't care.
Yeah.
I already work the club. I really don't care. So because of that, I was having people trying to cancel me. I was having people like up in my DMs and making Facebook posts about me. And each time I would like respond and be like, yo, I have screenshots of this person saying there's no funny gay comics in Sacramento. And purposely booking a gay show.
Yeah.
To get
just to be relevant.
Yeah. To like, because
to get a crowd.
Because it was like, this was like almost 8 years ago, you know? So it's like how, like that really shaped how I approached LA comedy, where I'm just like, I'm not trying to get involved because no one cares. Yeah. It's like at the end of the day, if it means stage time, no one cares. And a lot of those people wear shoes inside the house. That's all I'm saying. There's no one has respect for themselves.
I mean, I'm never going to look at shoes in the house the same way now. Because I'm going to see it as just an immoral comic. Just wanting stage time.
Well, like, would you want to eat, like, when you feed yourself, like, would you want to eat off a dirty plate?
No.
You know what I mean? It's the same thing. Why would you want to live in filth? Even if you clean every day, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And you're not truly getting it clean.
You're not scrubbing.
You're not on your hands and knees scrubbing. Yeah.
You're maybe vacuuming, which is just the dust.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like you are not living, you just don't value your space and yourself. Like, if you have, like, in this space, right? Like, if you just left trash everywhere, that's a clear sign. Like, you think Mike's gonna be happy about that,
right?
You know what I mean? Like, that's a sign to me that you don't respect the space. So if you don't respect space, especially your space,
do you remember do you remember your parents teaching this to you, or did this come naturally?
I don't know if it's a DNA thing, because it's like all Asians don't do it's a cultural thing embedded. Like, it was weird to me going over to my white friend's house and then wearing shoes and just like being like, yeah, it's fine. And it's like, but you also have, I mean, I guess maybe because they have dogs, it's like the dogs go outside, but
they're
like
dirty anyway.
But also my Asian friends that have dogs, like when they take them on walks and bring them back, they'll like wipe their paws. So it's like so weird to me. Yeah, I guess it was just kind of embedded. It wasn't really like taught to me, because I guess it's like, if you don't know the other side, I didn't even know wearing shoes in the house was an option until I like made friends when I was older.
Yeah.
Right. Because I grew up around like my family. Like, I was an only child. So it was just like what I knew for a long time.
And just to be clear, you wear shoes outside. You don't go barefoot outside.
No, that's insane.
That's even worse.
That's insane.
I see a lot of people, because, you know, I live on the west side. There's some barefoot people out there.
Oh, like the surfers and stuff, right?
Yeah,
like
but you're not.
people.
Yeah, but we're not near the beach. I mean, we're near, but we're not. You didn't come from the beach.
Yeah, that is so weird to me.
So
I don't know why you would go barefoot outside. There's so much like danger.
There's danger. I think it's good for like your feet, right? They say like you can wear those barefoot shoes. I'd never, but it's good for like the muscles of your feet. You've heard this.
Being barefoot helps with like the foot muscles. Yeah.
But I think, and I understand this, you would feel like putting your bare feet in the grass. It feels nice.
Yeah, and then go home and wash your feet.
Correct.
But also like if you could be barefoot at home.
Absolutely.
Right. And
No,
also
you're
Kayla, my wife was like, oh, what do you think about me getting, because she heard the same, she's very susceptible to marketing. So she was like, oh, what do you think about me getting those shoes? And I was like, you can do whatever you want, just like not in certain events. Like I'm like, you can do, you know, but like I do think it's like, yeah, if it's better for your health and your posture, like I'm all about that. But like that is, it's like the same people that go barefoot don't wash their feet when they come back home.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's like, to me, it's,
Yeah.
I don't know, but those people, I'm always like, you do seem a little, you don't wash your hands. Have you encountered those people?
Not washing their hands?
Yeah.
No. Have you?
Yep. Yeah, because like one time I was like, I had these friends that like was friends with this guy that played in a band, and I guess he was a musician, and someone was dating him and he never washed his hands. And I was like,
did he say why, or like
he just doesn't believe it works? And I was like, the plight of straight women is so hard.
That's disgusting. It is. And I mean, I can't even, especially because they touch themselves.
That's what I'm saying. It's like why would you want to, like, we have it's not like the 1700, like I don't understand like why you're choosing actively to not. People don't, same thing, people that wear shoes that probably don't wash their hands after they go to the bathroom. Yeah. I do think there's a huge correlation to like just like you don't respect yourself, you don't respect your body, you don't respect your body,
you take it for granted, for sure. I once saw, and this is good for you, I once saw a man barefoot golf.
Oh, I did have a friend that did that.
Well, I wonder what that is.
It's so you can feel so golf is very it's ground up.
Can you also say why you know?
Oh, I know, because before comedy I played professional golf.
Really?
Isn't that amazing?
That's awesome.
It did not go well. It was a very
it's
short
cool that you did it.
Thank you.
So cool.
I made I think like one like $600 check.
Wow.
And that was it.
That's
amazing.
pretty cool though.
But yeah, so I had a whole mental breakdown after it. So it's been quite a journey. But like sometimes like with practice, they do recommend that because you can feel the ground. So it's like it's ground up. So like a lot of people that hit it far is because they know how to like weight transfer. So it's the traction with the ground. Because it's physics, right?
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
pressure you exert is the pressure you get back. So it's people will practice with no shoe. I've never seen anyone play a whole round, but you know, to each their own. As long as they go inside.
Yeah, no, I'm
and wash
outside.
their
We need to
feet.
be inside. Wash the feet. Also, we'd need a little wash before you get inside.
Yeah, that's true.
right, because you got to get inside to the bathroom.
Yeah, and then also golf is, I think, worse too because they fertilize the ground, and there's always animals. Like a lot of the golf courses will have like geese and stuff. There's like a lot of geese shit. So it's like really like insane to me.
Yeah,
that you're going around. Because also like, what if you have a cut that you don't know about?
Ow, yeah.
You know what I mean? There's
a little
so
infection happening.
Yeah, it's so crazy that you would do that. But
Yeah.
I mean, you can get the same feeling with socks.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe we've gotten away from. I just feel like we have, like, you know, people maybe have evolved. Like the shoes weren't around when people were first around, right?
Yeah.
So I get it, but it's like we don't have to live like that anymore.
No, we don't. We also don't have to wear rags when we're on our periods. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've evolved.
We have. I mean, even though the technology for pads, I feel like
It is pretty. What's a good word? Archaic.
Yeah.
I would say. I'm just being. I have like just a lot of visions of a question coming to me right now.
I love visions.
Is it disrespect or lack of attention to the sanitary aspect of it?
Well, see, that's I think my issue is that I see it as disrespectful. I do think lack of attention sometimes is that, maybe this is where I'm like, I am very like maybe a little too intense about this, but it is like lack of attention to me is also disrespectful. So like if we're having a conversation, if I'm on my phone just on social media, that's also lack of attention, right? But that's to me disrespectful. I do understand accidents happen. I do like I get that, but I'm also, that's where it falls into like, why aren't you doing this already? Like, why aren't you valuing your home and your space in a way where you want to keep it clean? But yeah, I kind of see this if there's an example where they're different, I just can't think of it right now. But to me, usually lack of attention is disrespectful.
Can I
please
because I think this is an interesting point, and this isn't necessarily me like disagreeing or like fighting it at all, but it's like something I'm like curious about is, do you feel like when you say like lack of attention is in a lot of cases disrespect, like one thing I think about is you said it's cultural, like you might have been born and raised with that practice, and it could be that other people just were not born and raised with that practice, so it's not something that is like it's not automatic for them. Do you feel like, but then I think about the people looking at their phones when they're texting. It's like that feels like we are all on the same page with that one. How do you separate those two? Like, how do you separate like this is just cultural, like, versus this is just plain lack of attention and this is disrespect?
I don't think I do. That's the problem.
That's what you want to work on.
Yeah, I think that's what
maybe we found what
I think because I see it very black and white. Like I don't have that like, oh, it could be like how you're raised differently, because like to me it's like I was like talking to a friend and I like was having some like health scare because it was like I don't know if my neck is a little like more swollen, so it's like I get a lot especially on TikTok, people will message me and be like, hey, you should get your thyroids checked. And so I took a test and I got the wrong test, but based on that test it was like, you have cancer. But my doctor ordered the wrong test.
Oh my God. It's like the Queen Latifah movie. The Last Holiday. Yeah.
So I'm like I'm stressed about this, right? And I was talking to a friend about it. And then she just was like looking at a menu and was just like, oh, like wine prices are so expensive here. And I was just like, to me, that was disrespectful, right? I don't know, like, if she was going through something and she couldn't process, like, she could have her own emotional thing about it, right? But in that moment, to me, it was like, okay, I'm going to clock this. You know what I mean? Like, we're not as close as I thought. Or, like, but she could be going through her own experience. Like, as I'm older, I do recognize that we're just not the same people. Yeah. But, like, emotionally, I do have a hard time not taking it like, oh, you're just being disrespectful to me, and it's an attack on me. Even though logically, I know everyone has their own struggles and everyone's going through their own thing. But I think that is the ultimate issue, is like, I don't see where it's like, oh, this is like, oh, we just grew up differently. Like, I understand that. But if I'm telling you and you still aren't like processing it, or like you still aren't respecting that, then I'm like, okay, yeah, it might take a while, but also I'm almost 40. Right? Like, I don't have time to babysit you on this. You're either going to catch on or you're not. And so I feel like that's also like with friendships, right? Like, we do kind of go off of like, we don't want, some people we work on, I guess it's like more aligned with dating. It's like, do you want a project or do you want someone that's already aligned with where you are? And that's how I see it. Yeah. Is it healthy? Probably not. I don't have a lot of friends, so I don't think it's great.
Well, a big part of it is how you see it. Like, does it affect your life in a significant way where you feel like it is getting in the way of things you want to do? Like, if it would be one thing if you're totally good with how things are versus you feel like it's making your circle smaller and smaller to the point that it's causing issues.
I don't know. Because also I think part of it is like because being an only child and my parents worked, like I'm very good at adjusting to my environment or the situation. So like to me, like my life is like I puzzled by myself for 4 hours. Like that was joy, like, you know, but is it like, could I have spent that 4 hours hanging out with friends? You know what I mean? And it's like also the older we get, our circles are getting smaller.
Correct.
So it is
You're trying to figure that out. You're trying to figure it out. Where is it functional versus dysfunctional?
Yeah, because it's also, I'm like, the thing is like, it could be very dysfunctional, but I will make it functional, which is the problem. Like I'm very good at that. So I think that's where I'm just kind of like, I go in survival mode, and I know it's not great, but it's like also I've been hurt by friends so much that it's just kind of like, is it even worth the energy for me to navigate that?
Yeah. You mentioned borderline personality disorder, and I feel like it's worth at least just like talking about what that is.
I like how I'm giving you, talk about it. Would you want to describe it?
Yeah.
Well, how it was described to me.
Yeah. I was thinking about the DSM at first, but
the movie Girl Interrupted. Was literally how the psychiatrist, he explained it to me this way. He was like, in Girl Interrupted, there's two main characters. There's Winona Ryder and there's Angelina Jolie. Turns out Angelina Jolie is a sociopath, so I don't know what his whole thing is. He was wrong. But he was just like, you're Winona Ryder. He was like, you just need therapy and then you could work it out, because it's a lot of like, I guess it's kind of like, I don't know what it's versus it's like what the traits are. Of it are like easier to explain than
it's some of the features of borderline personality disorder are like intense mood reactivity. So if there is some kind of slight, like you could react like with anger or isolation, or there could be anger behind the isolation. There could be issues with abandonment. There could be issues with one of the theories behind it is that it's caused or heavily influenced by a chronic sense of invalidation in childhood.
Yeah.
And you I
already touched on
I'm
that.
saying that because you mentioned it. And I wonder if, like, you know, those experiences of people doing actions that you feel are disrespectful is related to those senses of like, this is invalidating to my experience and kind of like an attack on me in some way.
1000%.
Yeah.
I have goosebumps.
Yeah, no, that's
cool.
1000% what it is. Because even like, I was invalidated through my parents, and then even with friends and teachers especially was like a lot of invalidation, because it's like I grew up in the 90s and racism was different back then. It was like a little more out, but it was like my whole experience was invalidated, because it's also like being an only child. I didn't have a frame of reference of what life was like, and like there was like instances where like I was like too Korean, and then all the other Korean kids in my class were like, oh, she's embarrassed. Like they would like invalidate my experience because they didn't want to be associated. Like, so it was like from all over the place, like a lot of the time. And I think that's carried over through college, and especially playing golf, where it is a very white dominated field that is like very rich, and my parents weren't rich. I guess, it's invalidation, but also like I am kind of curious, what's the difference between that and imposter syndrome?
Between imposter syndrome and
Like
borderline personality?
No, the invalidation thing.
Being invalidated versus imposter syndrome. Well, let me try to define both. Imposter syndrome is the idea that you don't belong in a place that you are. Invalidation is like you saying I have this experience, and someone saying, no, I don't agree with that.
Okay, because I always wonder, I was like, do I have imposter syndrome? And I was like, I don't think so. But it's the one where it's like, I have an experience, and then it's like, because it's external more than
maybe
internal.
your feelings were invalidated. Like, oh, don't feel sad about that, or that's not frustrating, or
because imposter is more internal.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, because it's like I have a hard time expressing feelings and having feelings because of that, because it's like everyone's told me like, oh, like you shouldn't react like that, or like especially like in my parents were very gender like normative, right? So any like for women or girls, you don't have anger. It's unladylike. And like I did have a lot of anger because I grew up in angry, like a very traumatic household. So there was like a lot of emotions that I felt like I couldn't express, and that it was like, oh, you're overreacting or you're this. And I think that's where I draw the line very quickly, because I'm like, I don't want to feel that again. So I draw that line in the sand before that they can say something to me.
I should say that like people with borderline personality disorder describe this exact experience. Like this is a pretty common feature of it. I feel like it's important to, just for people who are listening who have it, like it's treatable and it's difficult. Like it's like the experience of having it, and then getting therapy can really help people. And it's something that like I think takes a while to work at. I think the idea of it being called a personality disorder, there's a lot of like controversy with, because the idea of having a personality disorder makes it seem like, well, that's just who you are. This is your personality. But it's kind of like, in some ways, it can be a learned way of relating to the world, because that's how a lot of people are like raised in some way. Like how you're raised as a child can heavily influence how you look at the world.
Yeah.
And I think like having an experience in therapy where you're like able to share those frustrations and also kind of relearn ways to like have adaptive responses can be really helpful for people. I just like the name, the personality disorder, makes it sound like it's very rigid, and a lot of people do find help with it. And there's a specific type of therapy that was created by someone who had borderline personality disorder, Marsha Linehan. It's called dialectical behavioral therapy, and that's like the specific treatment for borderline personality disorder, which is very helpful for a lot of people. I'm just saying that because
That's
I feel
great.
like people who are listening, it's helpful to know the context.
I think the issue that I'm now facing with is the idea of being mentally healthy sounds appealing, but like I'm also like, I've functioned like this for so long, and I feel like there are parts that have helped me in comedy with that, and it is a terrifying feeling of being like, oh, would I lose all of that, you know, because it is like a safe thing of how I see the world.
It really reminds me of like when people are like, I'm afraid if I take an antidepressant, I'll lose my edge for like comedy. Or even people with, we've talked to comedians with ADHD, and they're like, I like this. I don't want this. This helps my comedy.
Yeah.
You know, does that kind of seem like something similar?
Yeah.
To what you're saying?
And I think it's like, because and I think part of it too is like, let's say it does get fixed. And then I think I'm just so scared that it's like, okay, what if I find myself in a situation? I guess that's part of it getting fixed, where I won't find myself in the situation where I know how to handle being invalidated. But I can't imagine that world.
It's awesome that the first thing you're even doing is identifying that. I like when I work with adult patients, that's one of my favorite questions to ask that I think is really important is there anything that you stand to lose by getting better? Because that's like, it's very insightful to even know that, because to not to worry about getting better and the consequences of that has heavy implications. Like it's something that could keep you from like investigating what that world looks like. Yeah. So the first step is even acknowledging that, which is powerful. But the fear of, well, what does that world look like? What helps you have curiosity towards that?
I think I don't. That's the thing. I don't have curiosity because it's strictly just fear. It's all just like, I can't imagine, like I feel like I would lose, so I wouldn't know how to operate. I think it's like, I think it's just like, I don't even think about getting better anymore, because I'm like, oh, this is just, I know how to operate in this world. I know like if I'm reacting to something, I just like isolate. I know how to, like, I know the tools that I've made myself to survive and get this far. I think what scares me the most is just like, I feel like if I am happy, will I still have curiosity? I feel like being sad and depressed and like angry or like feeling these things, I have curiosity in different, like, because I force myself to want to learn about different things. And when I'm like, if I'm well, what am I going to do with my time? What am I going to do with my energy? What am I going to think about? What am I going to, you know, like I can't think about that because I'm like, I don't I feel like I would lose everything that I've worked towards, because I feel like what makes me interesting in my comedy is that I am vulnerable about my experiences and what I'm going through. Well, if I'm completely healthy, then it's like, well, what do I talk about?
Can you have both?
I have no idea.
I think you can.
I think you can too.
Yeah.
I think what you can hope for is that, because it's still gonna be you, even if you're healthy. You're still gonna see the world the way you see it, but maybe the recovery time is shorter. Like that would be nicer too. Like it would be nicer if you don't have to isolate maybe as long because you're quote unquote healthier. I don't want to say that, but. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah.
I don't think she's gonna change.
It doesn't have to be like one extreme or the other. It's not gonna like either you're completely healthy or the complete opposite of the spectrum. It's like something that like I like the analogy of like the amount of time that you sit in isolation. Maybe that goes down by an hour.
Because you puzzled for 4 hours yesterday.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just 2.
Yeah. I mean, 4 hours is generous. It was 4 hours in one sitting and then hours sporadically throughout the night.
So it's more than just, wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, altogether, we're probably looking at 6 hours.
Yeah.
6 or 7 hours.
Which again, you were puzzling, which is a good thing. But, if you feel like that's the part that's like, yeah, maybe that could be better because it also is emotionally taxing, don't you think?
It is taxing. And it's also like, I think part of me is also just very like, it's terrifying to think that like, I don't know. I guess the idea of that is just like, if I can't have something, I just don't want it. And I think that's why I've lived like that for so long. So when you're like, oh, are you like curiosity of like what that world is like? I was like, I stopped even thinking about it because I've been through so many outpatient programs. And then I went to the psych ward after I quit golf. And then I had the therapist, which I mentioned that. And he was like, we're not talking about that.
Talking about what?
The BPD. That wasn't what his specialty was, I guess. It was specifically, I guess, just like my comedy career, which I felt like is part of it. But I don't know. I think it's because like I still have my childhood blanket from when I was a baby. Like I think like it's become my blanket. I think like having these like how I perceive the world, especially like because it's like I do see where it stemmed from with my parents, and I think it's just like that's being 38 years old, almost 38, is just like the idea of changing is like too terrifying. That I can't really imagine it, and I'm like, yeah, maybe it'll be good, and then it's like I don't know. It's like also like, am I funny because I'm like so unhinged? Like you say, like I can have it both, but can I? Like I don't know what healthy me could be boring. Because my humor is dark. Like so, it's like if I'm not that person anymore, if I see the world differently, can I find the humor in it?
I don't think you'll see the world differently, though. I think the only difference is you'll be able to handle things you'll be able to handle things differently. So instead of the 4 to 6 hours of puzzling we're up to now, you can now use some of those hours writing, which would only help your career. And
I think of it as a muscle, or like rather than a change in character. Like you're adding something on with the building the insight and the skills for when you get into those like periods of feeling like frustration or isolation. Like it's like a strength you can build rather than a change in who you are inherently.
I'm speaking from my thing. So something that I struggle with is I spiral if I think somebody's mad at me or I think I've done something wrong, I really can spiral and it can ruin days. But I've gotten to the point where it now kind of only ruins a couple hours. Oh. Maybe 4 hours.
That
tops.
Sounds nice.
And see, I'm not losing that. I'm still the same sensitive wuss, but I know why I'm so, but I'm not completely obliterated. Whereas I used to be, and so many things used to just obliterate me, or just anxiety in general, to where I couldn't even go to school. Like, so I think that's maybe but it hasn't made me less funny because I'm still seeing things the same way. It's just not taking me out as much.
Okay. Yeah, because I've been like struggling with a lot of anxiety lately about like thinking about the future. And I do think it's like part of it is like I've been trying to meditate more to stay more in the present, but it is just the fear. It's just like, and then I spiral with anxiety, and then I invalidate my own feelings and my own thoughts, because it's just like, I'm like, you know, I felt like that's how others have responded to me. So I'm like, that's the language that I tell myself. And it just kind of spirals. So, I mean, maybe this is something I should look into. I've just been so scared for so long because I've had so many bad mental health professionals that didn't want to address this. And also, I think there was a fear of like the whole like, well, I feel like I'm too old to be blaming my parents, you know? So I'm like, I should be over it by now. And like, technically I am. I have a great life. Like on paper, I have a great life. Emotionally, there's still so much turmoil that is just like, it is hard to like function in the world. But because I have to, I do. And I feel like I'm building up that muscle or a muscle, whether or not it's the right one. I don't think so.
It's maybe just the right bicep.
Might just be your trap. Yeah. They're just the left one. Yeah.
But I do think like, I can't imagine what that would be like. To feel safe in my own mind is a crazy concept to me. I've never felt that before. And maybe that's why I put so much value in my home. Because in my growing up as a kid, I never had that. And then now as an adult, it's my space. This is my safe. It's physically, this is where I can feel safe. Because emotionally in my mind, I don't feel safe.
We need your shoes off in your mind.
Yes. It's a great way of putting it.
That was good.
Yeah. I think this is possible, don't you?
I do.
Yeah.
I can't give medical advice because you're not my patient, but I think what you're describing is like very common, like a very common fear and frustration, to the point that it is literally like one of my checklist questions I ask someone is like the idea of the fear of what if I get better? Like, what does that entail?
Yeah.
Like, and it really is important to ask that question and to process it and think about it. Like, well, and then also challenge it to a healthy extent and with someone. Like, these are all things that are helpful and important. But I don't know. This was a good discussion. And I also like, we are not your clinicians, and there's probably a lot of parts
Macy.
of this. Yeah. Macey is. And so like narrowing it down to just BPD might be also not fully inclusive of everything else that's going on. Maybe like, it's complex, but I think like an acknowledgement and the insight that you have is all really important.
Did you get through your notes?
What else did I have? Chronic feelings of invalidation. You brought up black and white thinking. That's also a part of BPD.
That made the notes.
Everything that I wrote down here, you happen to ask independently.
Isn't that wild?
That was interesting.
Yeah.
You guys are just like
I
connected.
know.
Yeah.
Telepathy. I do want to be mindful. We are running a bit. You know, our session is almost over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I do want to come up with a plan for how we can get the shoes off inside your head. I do think that so far your instinct's already there. Like, you're smart enough to talk yourself to know what's happening to yourself, which I feel like is the big hurdle. So we just need to find some mantra or like a specific puzzle you could go to that says something. So when you finish the puzzle, it says what you need to hear. You know, maybe it's a short puzzle. Here's the thing. We're not giving you any of these 1,000-piece puzzles. We're giving you these kitty puzzles that only gives you, and you know, it only takes you 30 minutes, and that's all you got.
Dude, this is like a Shark Tank idea. Let's get on Shark Tank. Screw comedy, screw everything. We need to put this on Shark, because they have adult coloring books. This is the same.
Yes,
it is. It's like a 30-minute mantra puzzle.
Yeah. And
copyright. How do we trade?
I don't know. This is really good.
This is patent pending.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think also, and you have, and like, you know, you're also can share your wife can help you, be like, this is happening to me again. I'm putting that on her. I'm sorry for doing that. I'm so sorry. She's watching.
She has so much already. She's gone through a lot, and she's very supportive. And I do feel like that is a motivation to get better. But it's the same thing. It's like, that's how our relationship has functioned for so long. I mean, it's not fair to her.
Yeah.
But it's also like, what if I get better and I'm not as fun anymore? Like, there's so much
I think we're just adding, we're not taking away.
Yeah.
That's such a good thing to remember. Don't you think?
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, like you're not you're Diana Hong. You'll always be Diana Hong. You'll always be as funny. It'll just leave room to grow. Build and grow. Wow, I'm good.
Yeah.
Is there anything you would like to plug the listeners, the viewers? Yeah, please.
So this is coming out before May.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll make sure.
Okay. May 9th, I'm opening for Guy Brenham at Netflix's a joke.
Incredible.
He's doing his one-man show.
So cool.
Be Fruitful. Very funny. Love it. And also every second Tuesday, Suman and I host a comedy show.
That's right.
Yeah. So fan club comedy. But yeah, all the socials are Dhong Comedy. Website, dhongcomedy.com.
Perfect. Well, that's our time, Diana.
You're charging me for the plug?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The plug time? That was in the session? That's crazy.
Life isn't fair.
No.
You think, what if I had to go to the bathroom during this? It's all...
That's all charge time?
Charged.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, respect. I mean, I also go to the bathroom at work on purpose for that reason. So
exactly.
I guess
what if I needed a break?
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I can't bill for this, so this is all you.
Yeah, no, I'll bill through insurance, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that works. Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
This episode was produced by Macey Isaacs, Dr. Bijan Zarabi, and Natalie Thurman. Our editor is Lucas Marshka, artwork is by McKenna Snipes, and our music is by Raul Garcia with remixing by Lucas Marshka.